And today she will be sharing with us her life as an academician in Taiwan. With that, I ask that you all give your full attention for this sharing section. So are you guys ready for this talk? Give me some response. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Tan Jue. The floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Chan. Thank you for inviting me to become the guest speaker today. So I'm going to share about my life in Taiwan. It's really, really cold over here. You can see I put on my jacket. It's about 8 degrees here, and the wind is very strong, so it feels like 3 degrees only. So later, if I speak halfway and you feel that I'm trembling, it's totally normal. Okay, it's really cold over here. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start my presentation. As you have already known, currently a lecturer in Zhonghai University. So Zhonghai University is located in Taichung City in Taiwan. So before that, I'm going to introduce a little bit about myself. I'm currently doing my PhD degree, majoring in management with a multimedia university in Cyberjaya. And at the same time, I'm serving Zhonghai University. So I've been here since 2018, but that was an exchange program. So I actually came to Zhonghai University for 2 times. The first time is 2018, August. That was an exchange program for staff working in Utah, University of Tunku Abdul Rahman, because that time I was still serving Utah. And after that, I went back to Malaysia for another semester. And after half year, I got a chance to apply for an opening over here. And therefore, I'm here again for a full-time position. Okay, so before that, I would like to really share this one of my very valuable experience with you. This is my first ever opportunity to work overseas. This is like 11 years ago, back in 2009. And that time I was just graduated from university, and I got a chance to join this program called Work and Travel USA. And I was working as a crew member in McDonald's in a city called Pittsburgh. It's located in the state of Pennsylvania, the state which is just next to New York. I would like to share with you this experiences because this is the first time I worked overseas, and I saw how big is the world. I explored a lot of things, and it somehow raised my curiosity towards the world, and I want to explore more. And therefore, later on, I try to grab every opportunities to work overseas. So this program is actually open for all the undergrads. If you're interested to join, you can always contact some agents in Malaysia to join this program. Okay, so in case you do not know where is Pittsburgh, maybe you have seen the movie Batman. Pittsburgh is where they shoot for the Gotham City. The Gotham City in the movie is actually Pittsburgh. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my experience with Zhonghai University. So Zhonghai University is a private university in Taiwan. It's the first private university in Taiwan. So it has a really, really long history. The ranking is about number 14 out of 126 universities in Taiwan. It is also known as the most beautiful university in Taiwan. I'm going to show you the pictures. It's full of trees in our campus and full of the traditional building and nice places for taking photos everywhere. So you can see this is actually the little church that we have. The name is Luz Chapel. So this building was built 60 years ago. It has become a landmark, not only in our university, but it's a landmark for Taichung. So from time to time, you can actually see people coming here and taking their wedding photos or taking or come here just for visiting. So look at the timeline here. Just now I have already mentioned I actually came to Zhonghai for 2 times. So the first time was as an exchange lecturer, and that time was actually kind of like working at the same time having my holiday. So it was really relaxing because I only taught 3 hours per week, and I only taught for one subject, and therefore I have a lot of chances to explore around the campus, to join other types of activities, and so on. So I will share more about this part with you because during this time, I think that I am a real expatriate because I was sent by Utah to come to Zhonghai University for this exchange program. And after that, I back to Utah to teach for 1 semester. And then 2019 August, I'm here again as a full-time lecturer. Okay. So, what was the purpose of Utah sending staff overseas for exchange program? There are three main reasons. The first one is to gain new insights. We want to see how other countries are actually doing their education, how they are interacting with students, how they design the syllabus, and so on. And the next one is we want to promote the collaboration between the researchers from different countries. And the last one is, we want to see how people actually doing their administration. For example, we need the committee to design for the course, we need committee to advise the students, and then we need to organize some events, we need to form some working group and so on. So we want to see how other people are doing their job. Okay, so therefore I come for the exchange program. This is how the arrangement for everything. So Utah was paying my salary during that 1 semester, and Utah also gave me the money for air tickets, to apply for visa, for insurance, and Zhonghai University was providing the accommodation for me. So as you can see in the picture, this was my little cute room over here. It's small, but it's very comfy. And this is a lobby down there. The environment is really, really good. So I was quite happy to stay here. After that, what I have to bear for myself, I have to pay for the local transportation. So once I reach Taichung, I have to travel to work. But very, very fortunate, the transportation in Taichung is actually free for the first 10 kilometers. So I'm taking bus to work every day. It's like only 10 minutes ride, and it's near, and then it's free, so it's really good for me. And other than that, I have to pay for my daily expenses like the food, daily necessities, and so on. So the next part, I'm going to show you a little bit about what are the documentations have to be done before I come Taiwan for the exchange program. And later on, I will also mention something for my full-time position. So this part is for the exchange program because I was going to stay here for less than 6 months, but more than 90 days. So I have to apply the multiple entry visa, which is the second one. And because I stay less than 6 months, so I cannot apply for the resident visa. But after that, when I come for full-time position, I actually have to apply for resident visa because I'm here for more than 6 months. Okay, so this is something really important. No matter you come here for working or you go for traveling at somewhere else, insurance is something really, really important. Sometimes when you purchase an air ticket, the insurance will not cover everything. Okay, so my advice is not only for working, even though you just go for traveling at another country for like 2 to 3 days, it's a short trip, but insurance is something really important that you have to get. Okay, so you can refer to what are the things covered under the insurance. Not only about the delay for bags, flight, or even the cancellation of the trip, but it also covers your hospital allowance, medical expenses, accident, and so on. Okay, so this is the form that I have to submit to Utah to get approval before I come to Taiwan. I have to list down how much money I have spent in each section, and then who will bear the cost and the total amount of the cost, and then I will submit to the management and they will approve whether they want to give this amount of money to me or not. So after they approve all these things, then only I can go ahead and buy the air tickets, visa, and insurance and so on. So one thing I actually miss out here, which is my internet internet expenses. Okay, I should have included this because it's quite expensive. I spend about like 700 to 800 ringgit during my exchange program. Okay, so next one. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about what are things that surprised me when I first come to Taichung for this exchange program. So before I started to teach a class, I actually had a week of time to walk around this area. So that time when I arrived in the airport was like in the middle of the night, about 12 o'clock. So I have to take the van sent by Zhonghai University and ride all the way from Taoyuan Airport to Taichung City. So by the time I reached Taichung City, it's really late. But I was actually quite shocked because the night market was still very busy and crowded. I can show you the picture here. It's like really crowded, full of people, a lot of motorcycles here and there, a lot of food stalls, a lot of shops and everything. So I've never imagined that there will be such a busy place beside the university, and it's just outside of my accommodation. So there are pros and cons. Pros is very convenient. I can get the food easily. I can buy anything that I need easily. But the cons is maybe it's a little bit noisy because it's really crowded, a lot of motorcycles. So when you're walking on the street, you really have to be extremely careful. Okay, sometimes they're very aggressive. Okay, so another thing about Taiwan is the number of motorcycles that they have. The motorcycles can be this much until they can cover the whole flyover. Okay, so this scene is not rare in Taiwan. You can see it's quite common in some places of Taiwan. So the next thing is walking distance, because I used to live in Selangor, which is a busy city as well. So normally we would drive, and most of us have our own car, and we rarely walk. But when I come to Taichung, I don't have my car, so I only have the bus. But it's not the bus station was not near to my house as well, so I have to walk. And because of the time to wait the bus may be longer than the time that I walk to school, so normally I would just walk. So this watch actually shows how many steps I have in the day. So my target was like 8,000 steps, but you can see I hit the target or even more than the target every day. So how long is the distance? My house is here, and then I have to walk, go out to the main route, and then we have to pass through the Zhonghai night market, which is the really busy and crowded places along this way. And it's still busy and crowded during the daytime. It's not only the nighttime. And then I have to pass through a small alley, and then finally come to something like a jungle. And then I pass through the jungle, and then I pass through a few faculties and then finally reach my office. So the whole journey is 1.5 kilometer, and every day I have to walk there and walk back, so it's like 3 kilometers every day. And then the red line is a route that I have to take the bus. Okay, same thing, I still have to walk out to the main route to take the bus, and then the bus will go through the very busy night market and then go to the highway, and it stopped here. So I still have to walk from this point to my office. It's kind of tiring, especially when the weather is as cold as today. Okay, so next thing, I'm going to talk about living expenses. Um, Overall, the living expenses in Taiwan is still slightly more expensive compared to Malaysia. So I have some example for you. You can look in the picture. To eat a lunchbox, a normal lunchbox with only sausage and maybe 2 to 3 vegetables, it already costs about $8, which is almost double the price that I had in Selangor. Okay, so if you want to have something better, maybe with the meat, then it will cost near to 10 ringgit. And it's really expensive to watch a movie over here. One movie ticket costs about 40 ringgit, but in Selangor we can get it like only 15 ringgit. Then we can go for the latest movie. Okay, so do you have a craving for Malaysian food? If yes, then you have to prepare to pay a lot. Okay, so like this plate of char kway teow is from a Malaysian restaurant in Taiwan. It's a chain restaurant. The food is really authentic, but of course the price that you have to pay is just like you're ordering a plate of char kway teow in the five-star hotel back in Malaysia. It costs 40 ringgit. Okay, but we do have cheaper choice. Okay, so this set of chicken rice together with roti canai, although I think that this is really a weird combination. Nobody actually eats chicken rice with roti canai in Malaysia, right? So it's slightly cheaper. I ordered this at a food court, but when you eat the roti canai, if you close your eyes and then you try to chew the roti canai, you don't really know this is roti canai because the texture is totally different from what we had in Malaysia. It's kind of powdery and not so chewy. So I write, "Hello, who are you?" here because I don't really recognize. Okay, so after a week of exploring my environment, then I have to start to work. So I come to international college. So this college is a full English teaching college, which is kind of rare in Taiwan because most of the classes in Taiwan is still conducted in Chinese. So this college, because of the English teaching environment, is very diverse. We have a lot of international students coming here, either for exchange program or for a full-time student. So you can see a lot of flags hanging on the roof. We have the students and teachers coming from more than 30 countries. So the first time I entered the class, it was a strategic management class. Not many of them in the class. It's about 25 people in the class. But I was totally shocked. I was actually terrified because this is the first time I have a lot of students with gold hair in my class. They're coming from France, from Spain, Austria, Belgium, and some of them are from South Korea and Thailand. I only have 5 Taiwanese students in the class. So because I used to teach only Malaysian, okay, I was teaching in Utah. So all of our students are Malaysian and maybe just 2 or 3 students from overseas. But this is the first time I have to teach Europeans, which makes me really, really nervous. and this is the first time I'm teaching in another country. So I get some time to actually get used to this situation. Okay, so I find it challenging to teach because all of these students, they're exchange students, and they have their own classes back in their own country. So they're having different education system. So how am I going to make sure everybody understand what I say, or everybody can adapt to my teaching method? That is really, really a big challenge to me. And because they have different levels, and some of them maybe their English is not really good. So how am I going to talk? How am I going to design the content for courses, and how to make sure they respond accordingly? I really have to think of a lot of ways to do it. And one problem I face is um, some students, when they speak English, I really cannot understand what they say, especially those students from France. Okay, because the French accent is really, really heavy. I need a lot of time to get used to their accent. Okay, so we organize some sort of like competition during the final presentation. I get the students to vote. So they have to propose a business idea according to the company that they have selected. And then I invited our HOD, head of department that time, Dr. James Sims, but now he's the Dean of International College. So I invited him to join the presentation, and then he was one of the judges. He voted as well. And then in the end, the group that won the final presentation is actually the most diverse group in the class. So you can see that a diverse group, if they work closely together, if they get to understand each other, they can really perform very well. They can outperform the group which only have uh, the people from one country. Okay, so during the final exam, I just follow my Malaysian style to set the question for them to do. But what they give the feedback to me, when they give the feedback to me, they say that it's really, really difficult for them because they were not used to something that needs memorizing. Okay, most of the time they have multiple choice questions, or they just have a very short structured question. They do not really have the case study question. They don't really have to memorize something from the textbook. They just write their own opinion. So that time, somebody posted this story in Instagram. After the final exam, is like after taking the IELTS test. So that means my exam is something that needs months of preparation in order to pass. Okay, and then they also try to write me something in Malay. They are Taiwanese, they actually do not know Malay. Okay, so other than teaching, what else I have to do? Of course, it's something about research. So in Taiwan, in Zhonghua University, the KPI is a little bit different from what we had back in Malaysia. So other than teaching, we have to join something called the social group. In the social group, you can propose any topics that you like. It can be related to something like sustainability. This is a project that I'm working. So it's about circular economy. Whatever we use, whatever we have in our operation, make sure is something that you can still recycle, something that is sustainable. And because this is a big project with various types of topics, and I only work on one small topic, which is related to food supply and water management. So other than topics related to sustainability, you can see that some other lecturers from other faculties, they propose different types of topics. And because Zhonghua University is very interested in doing the artificial intelligence, so some groups are doing AI, and some groups are doing something related to the welfare of the society. They would think of how to improve the daycare center, how to create a more interesting life for senior citizens. They will organize a picnic in Zhonghua University just in front of the church, and then they will do some rural rejuvenation. That means the rural area is underdeveloped, so they try to develop those areas into a tourism spot. So other than that, they also have other topics like arts, politics, religion, language, and so on. Okay, so I hope you're good. We are halfway. So I'm going to talk about my full-time experience as a lecturer now. Okay, so I came here again back in 2019. It's also during August. So this is already my third semester here. I'm going to finish it soon. And how did I go through the application process before I come? So first of all, because this is a full-time position, and therefore I have to show my certificate for my master's degree and also the transcript as well. So in order to verify these documents, I actually went through a very troublesome process because I got my master's degree from UPM, so I had to go back to UPM and get the office to certify it for me. After that, I have to pass the document to Ministry of Higher Education. So the officer over there have to verify that yes, UPM is indeed the university in Malaysia and the cert is true. So after that, I got their documentation, and then I have to pass to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then get the officer over there to sign to verify that, oh, okay, the officer from Mohi is really an officer over there. This is a real person. And lastly, I passed the document to Taipei Economic and Culture Office in Malaysia. So because Taiwan do not have embassy in Malaysia, so we have to go to this office and then get the officer over there to verify that, oh, okay, the signature from the officer in Ministry of Foreign Affairs is true. After that, I got this letter over here. So I have to carry this letter with me everywhere because this is the proof for my certificate and transcript. This is to prove that both these documents are the authentic version. So I carry this, I have to apply for visa, and then I come to Taiwan. I have to show this to the university and also the Ministry of Education in Taiwan. Okay, another thing which is important for you to do before you go abroad for working is you have to clear your tax. Okay, so make sure you do not have any tax balance before leaving the country. If not, you may face a penalty. Okay, they will consider you as a late payment and then they will impose penalty. Okay, so finally, I come to Taiwan. Because I get the visa for single entry, okay, so once enter Taiwan, within the 15 days, I have to change the visa into alien resident card. So it's something like my identity card in Taiwan. I have to carry it with me everywhere. Okay, so because this is a full-time position, you can see that my teaching hour increased, and then my research work increased, my administration work increased a lot. Okay, so now I'm not enjoying the holiday anymore. Okay, there's no honeymoon for me anymore. Okay, but this round I'm more well prepared to deal with a very diverse class like this. Okay, same thing, we have students from European countries, but during that time, there was a special program for mainland students. So around 10 of them joined my class. And then this has increased the gap between the level that they have, because European students, they're really, really good in English. They're very outgoing. So whenever you ask a question, they can just raise their hand and then share their thoughts with you. But for mainland students, they are having weaker ability in English, and fortunately, they were still very active, although they were not as good as European students for the English level, but they were trying their best to actually respond to you. Okay, so here comes the hard part. Other than teaching a diverse class or doing the research and so on, I think the two main challenges that I face in this job is student recruitment and advisory job. Student recruitment is because Taiwan is having low birth rate and it's getting lower and lower. That means the number of population for younger generation is getting lesser. Okay, that's why universities was having a hard time to maintain the number of students. So if you go and search for some statistics data, you can see that every year, there are 1 to 2 universities in Taiwan actually closed down or merged with other universities because they were not able to sustain themselves without students coming in. Okay, so because of this situation, universities are very competitive in this part. So a lot more things we have to do, a lot more effort we have to put in to recruit more students. Like our college, we have to send lecturers to high school to give a 1 day lecture over there. And then we have to invite the high school students to our campus and then see the environment, attend classes. And I even went to high school to see how the high school teachers are teaching so that we can make a better connection with them. Okay, so another problem is advisory. So I believe all of you over there, you have an advisor in UMS, right? So you have a lecturer to become your advisor, giving you some advice in your studies. But in Taiwan is a totally different case. We have to really concern about their not only study but personal life. We have to make sure they are healthy both physically and mentally. Okay, because the depression cases are very common over here. I have 60 advisees in international college, but there are like maybe more than 10% of them are having depression or had depression before. I also encountered a case where a student tried to suicide for a few times, and then we need to deal with all these issues. We need to deal with parents. We need to talk to them, and then we need to pay close attention to not only the situation of that particular student, but also the friends around the student. Okay, so the school has given a lot of resources to help the teachers to deal with the students, to counseling them. We even have the budget allocated to have parties with the students. We can go out for gathering and so on. Okay, so a lot more work have to be done in Taiwan compared to Malaysia. And recently, just 2 months ago, we have some cases happening in National Taiwan University. So within 9 days, there were 6 suicide cases happening. Okay, and the number of students died because of suicide case is increasing as well. And therefore, universities have to put a lot more efforts in preventing this kind of issues in the future. Okay, so other than depression issues, mental issues, anything else you have to pay attention when you work in Taiwan? First thing I was not used to it was the issues between China and Taiwan. So before I come to Taiwan, I actually think that Taiwan is a country. But we avoid to say Taiwan is a country or not in Taiwan or in mainland or when you're talking with mainland students or lecturers. This is a very, very sensitive political issues because of the very complicated history of Taiwan. So the situation now is like even Taiwanese themselves, they do not really sure is Taiwan belong to China or not. So most of the time, no matter lecturers or students or just random people on the street, we avoid to talk about this issue, and we do not address China as China. We don't call China as China. We just say mainland. Okay, and the next issue is maybe you have already known Taiwan has legalized the same-sex marriage. So they place a lot of emphasis on the gender equality. So when we talk in the class to students or when we talk to random people, we avoid saying words like, okay, men are stronger, men are having more capabilities, women need more help, and so on. We try not to really differentiate between the gender. Okay, so one more thing I experienced over here because we had the COVID-19 pandemic, and Taiwan actually is doing a really, really good job. Okay, so Taiwan is having 250-day streak of zero local transmissions, which is really, really a good result compared to other countries. So they do have some policies like mask is compulsory in indoor places, especially during the winter, and they also restricted the mask amount that you can buy, and you can see advertisement everywhere, no matter it's on the bus or on the TV or in the public places and so on. But I think one thing that I have learned from them is the people here are really, really having high awareness on how to protect themselves. Other than that, they are very, very disciplined. So they wear masks, that is a must. Okay, everybody is wearing a mask, no matter how. And they will measure temperature, and then they don't come out if they're sick, even if it's a small symptom. And then when they talk to people, they also stay a distance with people. So they practice everything really well. And you can see the alcohol is basically everywhere. It is highly accessible. So I somehow pick up some good habits and I learn from them as well, how to protect myself from the virus. Okay, so is the grass greener in Taiwan? Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, I can say that the opportunities that I've got from Taiwan is a lot because I've got more resources. I can collaborate with more researchers over here, and then I have more flexibility in deciding what I want to teach, how I'm going to deliver the lecture, and I can know more people. I can join a lot more events. I'm exposed to more research topics and so on. I have financial support over here for research project. And overall, Taiwan is a really friendly environment. The people are very kind, very helpful. Um, if you watch YouTube, maybe you will know a lot of YouTubers actually came to Taiwan and they lost something during the trip, but they always able to find back their things. Okay, this is the situation in Taiwan. It's really hard to lose any of your thing because somebody is always there to help you pick up your thing and then send to the police station, and you can always find it back. Okay, and it's really, really convenient here because the public transport is really good, and then the convenience store, basically you can do a lot of things, like you can buy the movie tickets, the concert tickets, you can buy the album, you can buy books, and then you have a lot of nice food in the convenience store. You can pick up your package, you can send the package, you can photostat your documents and so on. It's really convenient to live here. Okay, so these are the greener part of Taiwan. But why maybe not? Okay, the thing that I don't like maybe is we really put in a lot more effort for recruitment and then the advisory work. So I feel that it somehow affects my proper job like teaching or researching. Okay, so this is a part that I don't like. It's just the personal preferences, okay? I'm not sure about others. And another thing is I don't really get used to the food here. Okay, maybe you're surprised. A lot of people think that the food in Taiwan is really good. Okay, like the fried chicken chop, the bubble milk tea, and so on. Yes, bubble milk tea, I like it a lot too, but it's something that you cannot drink every day. Okay, and it's not a proper meal. But if you want to eat proper meal in Taiwan, I don't know, because we are Malaysian, right? We already used to um, a huge variety of food. We have Indian food, Malay food, we have Chinese food, and maybe we have Thai food as well. So Taiwan, they don't really have a lot of choices for spicy food. And then even though they claim that is Thai food, is Malaysian food, but it just tastes different. It's not the same as what we had in Malaysia. Okay, so I really miss Malaysian food a lot. Okay, so because of the resources given, I'm able to achieve something that I didn't get to achieve in Malaysia. One of it is I actually sent students for this innovation and entrepreneurship competition. So they have won the first place, and I was so happy, okay, because by using the resources in the university, I'm able to achieve this, and we got reward as well. We have won about 2,000 ringgit Malaysia from this competition. Okay, so the next part and also the last part, I'm going to share with you all the events and festivals that I've been joining all this while, including the exchange program and also my full-time position here. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, we have to join social group. Okay, so we held meeting and then we have food, which is a really good food, and then after that we have some celebration at good restaurants. And then I got a chance to join the classes conducted by other professors here. Okay, so I joined one Chinese class, one English class, and I also get to join the talk organized by professors, not only from Zhonghai, but also from National Taiwan University. And I'm very happy that I had a chance to join a talk by Dr. Mafuzo from UM. So that time I was so happy to see Malaysian in Taiwan. Okay, so I was also given an opportunity to bring the Philippines academicians from University of San Carlos to visit a very famous pharmaceutical company in Taiwan. So I was acting like a translator and also the tour guide at the same time for them. Okay, so we have moved our building. So this is our new building for International College, and we had this opening ceremony for the new building. So we were requested to wear our traditional costume during the ceremony, but too bad I didn't bring my baju kebaya or cheongsam. Okay, so I borrowed the sari from my Indian colleague. So she's from India. And then since I think sari is one of the traditional costume of Malaysia as well, so I just wear it. Okay, so student admission interviews. We have to recruit students, but we have to interview every single one of them. We have to test their English ability and their intention to study in a business school. Okay, so you can see that this is happening in April 2020. So it's after the pandemic has started. So we have to sit behind this big transparent cover. Okay, but it's really hard for us because the interviewee actually cannot hear what we were saying very clearly. Okay, so we have events like Halloween, and you can see this is our dean. He has the costume of grapes. Okay, so these are all the small balloons, and then we have to dress in any character. So some of us dress as Harry Potter, and then we have events like drawing the pumpkins, and then we play some games as well. Okay, so Christmas is a huge event in Tonghai because Tonghai is a Christian university. So during December, we have various types of activities all around campus. We have nice decoration, and then we did the gift exchange. So I did the gift exchange with all the Malaysian students in Tonghai, and then we have to go for caroling, Christmas caroling. We sing the song, and then we visit some faculties, some admin offices, and the convenience store, and then we sing songs with them. And then we have international students performing, and then we have the musical show. During the Christmas Eve, we do countdown. It's open to public. So every year during Christmas Eve, thousands of people will gather in Tonghai University, and it's concerts everywhere, every corner in the school. Okay, and then we have stalls selling stuff. We have the praying ceremony in the chapel. We have the countdown events. So some celebrities will come here and count down with us. And then we have sports day as well. So this year, the dean was leading us, and then we were carrying all the flags that we have. Okay, all these flags is where we have students coming from these countries. Okay, there are a lot more activities that I'm not able to share with you today. If you're interested to know, maybe you can ask me later. So that's all for my sharing. Thank you very much. And if you ever have a chance to go overseas, do not hesitate. Just go. It will change your life. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Miss Tan, for your great sharing. And then I definitely think that it's important for us to know what are the procedure and what are the challenges that we will be facing when we working abroad. And then thank you for sharing us your interesting experience. And now it's the time for Q&A sections. And I open the floor to all. If you do have any questions, kindly drop in the chat box or you can unmute your mic. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you have questions, you can turn on your camera so that Miss Tan can see you, right? And so is that possible for you to switch on your camera? Because if anyone has questions for Miss Tan. Anyone has questions? Quickly ask, have to ask questions. You have 15 minutes. I give you a few seconds to digest what Ms. Tan has presented just now. So you may drop the questions.
I would like to ask.
Okay.
Okay, Michelle.
My question sounds like this: if you were given a second chance, would you choose to work abroad or in Malaysia?
Second chance means with the experience that I have now, and I am giving another chance. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I think if there's a chance again, I would definitely go. But if the second chance is Taiwan again, maybe I would not. Okay, I need to explore something new. But for my situation now, actually, I really miss Malaysia so much. Okay, especially during the pandemic, I'm stuck here for already 1 year. I'm not able to go back. Okay, so if I given a chance to go back to Malaysia, I will straight go now. I will buy the air ticket right away.
Welcome back. And then I think there's another question from Jefferson. He is asking, is the ongoing protest on Taiwan had any effect on your work?
May I know what protest is that?
Jefferson, can you be specific? What type of protests you are referring?
Political protests. Okay. We can actually see a lot of people writing the notes or creating the poster and then post it on the pedestrian or the bridges and even in the campus. We have a poll full of the notes from students saying that they support something. Okay, I don't want to specify. So it doesn't really affect my work over here. We still live as normal. Even under the pandemic, we are very fortunate to live as normal. We do not have online classes. We still go to the school every day as usual. Okay, so I think there's another question, right?
Yeah, from Mr. D. He is asking, do usually students from the mainland China get harassment when they are studying in Taiwan?
No, they will not do that. They will not do that. It's just that the interaction is not that frequent. There was once I asked my students to debate in Chinese because I noticed that Chinese student, they have difficulty to speak in English. Okay, so in that class there were European students as well. So I said, why not we just open 3 minutes for debate in Chinese? And European students was like so exciting. They want to listen the debates in Chinese. And once the debate was started, Taiwanese students are one side, mainland student is another side. So they fight with each other really hard. Okay, but in daily life, they are not doing that. They're still being very polite to each other.
Okay, I think I'll take the question from Noor Asiani. She is asking, what is the thing that encourages and supporting you go to Taiwan? If your family is supporting you, what kind of support do they give you?
Okay, I think most importantly is because of my experience in Work and Travel USA. That was my first overseas experience. I never go abroad other than Singapore before that. Okay, so I sat for 30 hours flight and then finally reached Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then I worked there and then it amazed me a lot. I've traveled around US for around 20 days. So I've been to New York, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and San Diego, and so on. So that trip actually makes me always have the intention to go abroad to explore more things. Okay, so that is my own self-motivation to come to Taiwan. And of course, very, very important, you really have to get the support from your family. But fortunately, my family also support me a lot. They said it's a good chance. You can grow a lot by going abroad. So why not? You just go.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Okay, and then the next question, is there any traditional cultures of Taiwanese like dances or dress, and have you ever watched it?
Oh, I think they have a lot of minority. That means an ethnic group which has a very small amount of people. There are a lot of them. I actually cannot memorize all of them. They do have their respective traditional costume and also some custom as well. But I don't practice them. I haven't get a chance to experience that yet.
Do you want to try?
Of course, of course. Next 2 weeks, I'm going for a training. It's sponsored by university, so they're sending us to the Sun Moon Lake. So maybe I get a chance to try to experience that 2 weeks later. Yeah.
Okay, I think this question is quite interesting. Nuru Atika is asking if in the future you have a commitment or a family and your spouse, and then do you still want to be an expatriate? And then considering the experience that you have right now.
Oh, this is really, really important. all you have to do is to really negotiate with your family or spouse, get their agreement. I would suggest you bring them here together. Yeah, as an expat, most of the time companies are willing to um, let you to bring your spouse together. So I don't think it's a problem if you still have the intention to go.
So I think for the one more question that what was your first day experience when you're uh, teaching students with different nationality?
I was terrified. I really didn't know what to do. Okay, the first moment I stepped into the classroom, I see, oh my God, full of Westerners inside. I really didn't know what to do. Okay, but I just stay calm because I believe that fake it until you make it. Okay, you just pretend that you're not nervous since you're well prepared with your lecture, so no problem. Just step in and start the class right away.
Could you also share with us what are the tips that how do you overcome those culture shock or even culture differences?
Um, Cultural differences. Actually, after that, I just used to get used to it. Okay, as I mentioned just now, the very busy night market and then the walking distance is crazy and then full of motorcycles everywhere. Um, After some time, you just get used to it. It's not a problem at all. And because I'm working in international college, so the environment is always very diverse. So everybody is having more patience and tolerance with different cultures. Everybody can understand that. So that is not really a problem to me. But food is definitely a problem. I didn't get to eat Malaysian food very much. Even if I get to eat, it's not authentic one. Okay, so that's my major problem in Taiwan.
Can I ask what could you share one of the experience that maybe the most wonderful experience or
The
most
most wonderful
memorable
experience
experience?
in Taiwan,
Yeah.
there are too many of them, but if I were to pick one, maybe is I brought my international students to go for a picnic in a park. So that time Taichung was having the jazz music festival. So in the very big park, there's a stage singing the jazz music over there, and it was autumn, so the weather was fantastic. And then we just bring a map and then sitting on the floor, and then students from different countries are sitting together discussing the cultural differences. And then we brought some food from different countries, and then we let each other to try the food.
So I think
Okay.
there
Yes. Are
any
there any questions? Last question. Are there any questions from?
I think there's one question from Jefferson, right? Jefferson asked, what is your student reaction upon hearing you are from Malaysia?
Oh, yeah.
So they were surprised because my appearance looks like Taiwanese as well. And then I can speak Chinese as well. I can speak Mandarin as well. So at first, some of them didn't know I'm from Malaysia. Some of them thought that I'm Taiwanese. So when they know that I'm from Malaysia, they're kind of surprised. And when I speak Malay and speak Cantonese and then speak Chinese, speak English, they were also very surprised because they didn't know Malaysian can be multilingual.
Okay. Last questions. Is there anyone last? Any other? Okay, last. David Max is asking this. Yeah. Do you have any advices for us students who wants to be future expatriates but held back in Malaysia because of family and struggling financially? What are
Okay.
the students?
What my advice would be, if you have problems, if you're struggling with something that hold you back, have a long-term plan. You can give yourself a 5 years plan, 10 years plan. As long as you have a goal, and then you plan accordingly, you list down all the details, all the little achievement that you have to be done in order for you to become the expatriate, and you can do so. Plan it, start doing today. This is my advice.
Thank
So,
you for your advice. It's such a good advice, I think. And then I think we have come to an end. And the last section. And first and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Miss Tan for your time, sharing with us your experience in Taiwan and how do you deal with the challenges and what motivates you to work further and successfully in Taiwan. And also I would like to thank Dr. Putri Lim for your support in joining us today, and not forgetting to those participants for your time. And yes, that's all from me. And for me, working abroad is never an easy job, I guess. And then I think the tips that today you all have will really help you in the future. That's all from me. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you, Mr. Michelle. So before we leave the Google Meet, so you should have a photo with everyone, right? So you are required to just switch on your camera for 1 minute, so we can have a photo session. So Michelle, can you do this? Can you screenshot the screenshot?
Wait, yeah.
Uh,
I try putting all in first.
so I would like to thank Miss Tan again for sparing your time, although you are in
Thank you.
Taiwan. So thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, for inviting me for the talk.
Thank you, Dr. Batteries, our Deputy Dean's Academic and Internationals, for supporting our sharing session today. All right. Okay, Ken.
I'm trying to put everybody in first. Oh, okay.
Why? I don't know how to play around with the Google Meet because
Wait, I try to put all people in. Okay, wait. The maximum is 49% only in one. I think some of you maybe could you open your cam? Ayani, Asha, San Angelins, Jiahao, Guru Atika, would you like to open your cam? Okay, so I think everyone is on the screen and I'll start off. Okay. Then I'll take in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, thank you everyone.
all right, thank you. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Miss Tan.
Thank you very much.
The sharing session is really recorded, so you can watch the replay after that. All right. Okay, thank you. Thanks.